Hey guys, welcome back to the Time Bomb channel. Of course, with myself, the Bombardier, and we have a true icon of the watch world for your delectation today. Lent into the channel, we have the Rolex Submariner 126610 LV, aka the new Kermit. Maybe we can't call it the Kermit anymore now that the Muppets come with a health warning. Maybe that's why some people are referring to it as the Cermit or the Starbucks. But anyway, let me know down below what your preferred moniker is for this beastie. Give you a standard overview of the box as you would expect, and I'll just readjust the camera and glove up, and then we can crack on. Okay, so there we have this this beauty in all of its absolute shiny newness. Yeah, really quite stunning, and again, you know, I'm humbled and so lucky to have had this lent into the channel so that I can share it with you today. As I say, the Submariner, true icon of the watch world. You know, some probably have some detractors, etc. But again, for me, really, where to start with the Submariner? So many people have said so much about this model and its predecessors. It'll probably be a challenge for me to offer up anything that hasn't been said before. So please do bear with me, guys, if anything that I say is not new to you. Quick caveat then, of course, is that I'm not going to be going into any of the conversation around the pricing or availability of these watches. You know, I'll leave those talking points to other people. The only thing that I would point out, though, is that the watch packaging on these, in comparison to perhaps some others, is a little different. Personally, I'd really love to see like a grained wood box to go with these watches, but yeah, we all know that's not why people buy these. So what we're looking at here, then, of course, is the updated version of the Subby, which was released last year and has been for many people an instant hit. I think the colour is still a little bit divisive for some, but I'll come on to that into a little bit. It strikes me, perhaps, though, as being less of a new version of its predecessor, but rather a rethink. What I mean by that, unfortunately, actually starts with the bits inside that we can't see. So you'll just have to put up with this photo of that new movement while I explain myself. So here we have the caliber 32-35, which, isn't really entirely new, but I think more of a rethink of the already very successful 31-35. But the new movement, or the updated movement, does contain a very impressive 14 new patterns, and I would say it almost warrants a sapphire case back for us just to sit there and marvel at it. The aspect that personally tickles my tickly bits the most about that movement is the parachrome blue hairspring, which is insensitive to magnetic fields and temperature variations. It's pure nerd candy. And that movement, of course, will hold then an approximate but very impressive 70-hour charge. And I think for many of us, this will prove to be one of the most accurate and reliable movements that we might actually ever own in our lives. The other, I think, significant change or rethink to these new subbies is that they are actually now 41 millimeters in diameter, or actually, in truth, 40.5 millimeters, sort of rounded up to 41. And personally, I don't get all the drama about this being too big or that they've killed the subby and whatever. I mean, come on, guys, that's a tiny size up from those previous models. The matte black dial is quite busy here with all those lines of script, but again, I think it's common to the subby, so no surprises there. But I think some may miss the sunburst dial that you had on the all green versions of these ones. In contrast, though, the bezel is not matte at all, and that glossy Cerachrome is a real light catcher.
Again, it's standard on these. You've got your 60-minute graduations on the bezel, then with your loom pip nipple just up the top, and it does stand up just a little bit, but not quite as high perhaps as the date magnifier over here. You then of course have that wonderful, great popping blue loom that has that really soft but beautiful, lovely glow to it. I really do like the loom on these. The green-black combo is something that I imagine is going to be seen now as well. Borrowed by a couple of other watch manufacturers quite soon. It is an odd green hue though, and really does depend, on the light. And here's some shots of it in the sunshine compared to it now, the evening inside. That green really does change quite a lot, specifically on how the light is catching it. Personally, I never really liked the blue-black combinations that we find on Seikos, but I have to say that this colourway is really quite provocative. Another significant change up from the previous models is that the lugs themselves are actually a little bit slimmer, and perhaps a little bit more curvaceous than its predecessor, and then they're also then slightly wider at 20 mils. Sorry, they're wider than the 20 mils on the previous version, these ones now being 21. And as the 21 mil, it's a non-standard lug size. But then again, I doubt many owners will feel the necessity to change out this very, very, very pretty 3-link flat. Try and say that one, yeah, flat 3-link bracelet. It's beautiful, and the finish for me on the top is the best part. It is contrasted on the sides with being highly polished, but I really do like that soft satin finish on the top. And of course then finish down below with your standard, I was saying standard, it's not standard at all, really quite beautiful sliding, try that again, clasp lock on the bottom, of course within the glide lock. Now the width or the dimensions of the clasp have also expanded a little, I think, then again as a result of that bracelet width increasing. So I think the previous one, does it come down to 16? This one now comes down to 17. So again, they've just amplified that a little bit. Of course, this the bracelet and the case then is the 904 L stainless steel. It's going to be super corrosion resistant and should therefore maintain that very soft sheen for many, many years. I think again, as I mentioned before, just contrasted on the sides with those highly polished. But damn, you've got to imagine that those first dings on this are really, really going to be hard to deal with. I think they're going to hurt your soul. Onto the side, and of course, as is standard on these, you have those very, very highly polished flanks, which some actually absolutely love. Personally, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I'd really rather they'd use the same finish on the top here on those sides. Firstly, because I think it would be then far less of a fingerprint magnet. And secondly, I think it would give a much calmer appearance to the case body. But hey, that's just me. And the Cyclops, yes, they are synonymous with the brand and many owners absolutely love them. Personally, I own no watches with a magnifier, as to me, I think they really do distort things on the dial way too much. But perhaps as I get older, that opinion will change. And in truth, what would the watch be? Oh, sorry, would the watch be as iconic without that little Cyclops? Another detail that's changed on the watch is that the Mercedes hour hand has swollen a little over the previous version, and then the minute hand actually now reaches out all the way into the minute track to give it a little tickle there just as it moves past. I don't know about you guys, but whilst I'm not entirely in love with that shade of green that they've used here, I have to confess that it is a real eye catcher. And yeah, what else to say? I mean, yeah, you got your standard case back on here. I mean, beautiful smoothness on the inside of that bracelet. Obviously, then you've got your screw down triple lock here. Very nice shaping on those crown guards also. Yeah, I mean, a truly iconic piece that has doubled in value since it walked out of the shop. So yeah, either divisive or incredibly attractive. All right, guys, that's probably a wrap here for today. I could just wax lyrical for hours and end on that, but I think I'll just leave you with that. I've nicknamed it, I think, the Greenback rather than the Kermit or the Starbucks. It is indeed an iconic formula that I think Rolex have clearly not radically renewed, but subtly and effectively breathed some new thinking into. But anyway, as always, guys, very much look forward to hearing your thoughts down below. And of course, until next time, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers, guys.